welcome to Good Game Spawn Point, the show for gamers by gamers. I'm Bajo.
And I'm Hex.
And I am D.A.R.R.E.N.
I am Bread.
Your routine is a bit stale, Bajo, but you still look rather human to me.
No, Darren, I Am Bread is the game we're going to be reviewing today. Say, Darren, I think it might be time to have our brains tested.
Affirmative. Fire up those frontal lobes. It's time for Darren's challenge. This week I'm asking you this. In LEGO Marvel Superheroes, the SHIELD helicarrier is hovering over which American city? Answer at the end of the show.
Ooh, I know this one. It's a location that's used quite heavily in the Marvel comic universe. But now it's time for Goose with the news.
Thanks guys, Goose here with all the gaming news. First up, we have a story about Dora the Explorer. And no, not that Dora the Explorer. This Dora is a robot. A team of student researchers in America created Dora, also known as the Dexterous Observational Roving Automaton, which works by combining the Oculus Rift virtual reality headset with teleoperated robotics. What are those, you ask? Well, essentially, Dora has a pair of cameras attached on the end of a swiveling arm, which is able to mimic the movements and position of a user's head. This allows users to physically peer around and lean into an environment from a safe distance, which could be extremely useful for bomb disposal, virtual tourism, or even to explore active volcanoes. The next national park in Australia could be designed by primary school children using Minecraft. Students from the Adelaide Hills area in Adelaide have the chance to build what they think is the perfect national park within the game. The winning plan will then have over $10 million allotted to it to bring the park to life. The submissions will be judged based on general design, usability, sustainability, and how amazing it is. And finally, in another little Minecraft story, Mojang have announced that all versions of the game will now have a new female main character called Alex. Previously, all players were defaulted to the classic male Steve skin, but now when starting a new game, they have the choice to play as either Steve or Alex. And that's all for this week. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Goose.
All right, now it's time for something new, the Spawn Point Free Game of the Week.
Yes, we get loads of emails from Spawnlings wanting to know which free-to-play games are worth getting. So this way we can let you know where all the good games are.
Yeah, absolutely. And we thought we'd start with a true champion of the free-to-play world, the card-wielding madness of Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft.
You asked for it.
Your soul shall be mine! Victory or death!
This one's mine.
For honor.
Hearthstone is a digital collectible card game that was first released mid-last year. We reviewed it on our big show, but since it's just been released on smartphone, we thought what better time to give it a look on Spawn Point.
Affirmative, Hex. Similar to games like Adventure Time Card Wars, you take turns summoning minions, casting spells, and attacking your opponent to try and snatch the ultimate victory.
This is a game which has two layers of strategy, the building of the deck and the match itself, and there is a lot to consider. Cards have varying mana costs, and each round you get another mana gem to spend. There's buffs, secrets, and you never know what your opponent has up their sleeve.
Yeah, it can all seem a bit complicated at first, but I found the tutorial to be excellent. It clearly teaches you the basic game mechanics.
I've got you right where I want you.
Sounds and animations help to cement those rules and order of play in your mind. So it's not long before you're playing with ease and developing your own style.
There's 9 classes you can choose from, and each one of those has their own style too.
There are characters like the sneaky rogue,
Watch your back.
the aggressive warrior, and my favourite, the explosive mage. Especially when she uses mech cards. More robots in games always, so many robots.
After unlocking all the classes, you can play against the AI or other human players in either casual or ranked matches. It's good because you can learn the ropes in casual matches before you're ready to put your reputation on the line and go up against some ranked players.
And with different ways to play and daily quests, the game continues to be fun time after time.
It is important to note that, like most free-to-play games, there are optional microtransactions. The This isn't a bad thing in itself. It's important for developers to be able to make a living from their games. But when a game stops being fun just to try and get you to pay up, that's a D.A.R.R.E.N don't.
Yeah, that's one of the worst things a free-to-play game can do, but what's the verdict on how it's handled in Hearthstone, Darren?
Oh, I'd say they're very reasonable. You can opt to buy more card packs to expand your deck using real-world money, or you can complete daily quests to earn in-game coins and purchase everything that way. You may even earn enough coins to unlock some challenging solo adventures.
It's great that no content in the game is locked off as a real money purchase only. It can be very tempting to just purchase card packs, but you don't need to do that. It's quite easy to earn a decent amount of in-game coins if you just complete lots of quests.
There's also the Arena mode, which is very expensive to enter, whether you're using in-game currency or real-world money. It does, however, offer the best rewards, and because each player is assigned a random deck, it's a fair fight.
Another major concern with free-to-play games is if they make you feel like you still need to pay in order to win. But with Hearthstone, you can't straight up purchase the more powerful or legendary cards. Plus, powerful cards don't necessarily make up for bad strategy. Someone with a lesser deck could still beat you.
Absolutely. This is such a polished game, and I was impressed at how well the smartphone version performed, but this is much better with a tablet or a PC interface.
There really are hundreds of hours of fun to be found in this game, so it's more than worthy of our pick for free game of the week.
All right, you two, it's now time to catch up with Prani McKinley, who became a game developer after working for many years in film. Roll the tape, Kerry.
Hi, I'm Prani and I'm an indie game developer. I've been playing games since the early 80s. When I was a kid, I used to go over to a friend's house and play Space Invaders on her brother's Atari. I used to have lots of fun doing that. When I was in grade 7, my mother and father gave me a Commodore 64. That pretty much just sealed my love for games, and I've been playing them ever since. When I had the Commodore 64, I wanted to be a computer programmer. That was just a big dream of mine for a while, but then something happened and I put that aside for quite a few years. My sister was studying film when she was in high school, and I wasn't really interested in making films back in those days, but because I loved doing art, she used to drag me in to help with various art elements that she needed in those films. But it wasn't until I found out that Peter Jackson was filming Lord of the Rings in New Zealand that I decided I wanted to get into the film industry. My first job at Weta Workshop was to work in a small team assembling the armour for the Gondorian army. I was given the opportunity to work on set, which was the first on-set experience that I had. I also worked on Lion the Witch and the Wardrobe. I was a senior Weta armourer by that stage. Even though I loved working on films, I felt like I needed a change. And because I'd always loved games, loved working on a computer, I just decided that I wanted to go into that direction. I searched out all the degrees and courses available in teaching game design. Ended up at RMIT University doing a Bachelor of Arts in Games Graphic Design. The course was really interdisciplinary in lots of ways. You did everything from, learning basic programming to design concepts, art concepts, digital painting. Since finishing my degree, I found it hard to get my foot in the door into a gaming studio, but I decided that even though that's disheartening, it's not going to make me stop making games. So for the past 3 years, I've participated in the Global Game Jam. So Global Game Jam is a international event. A heap of developers sign up to do it, and they've got 48 hours to make a game. This year, for Global Game Jam, I worked with 2 other friends to make a game called Rescue Squad. Rescue Squad is a multiplayer local cooperative game. 2 to 3 players control one spaceship and have to rescue little space chickens that are floating around. For me, I think one of the best parts of being an indie dev is the creativity that it allows. It's really, really good to go out into the world, experience things, explore different hobbies, different interests. It brings a whole lot more to the game. If you really, really want to make games, then the best thing to do is just make them.
Okay, let's get into it, Bajo. And first up, we have this one from William, who is in Hamlin Terrace, New South Wales.
Ham.
Hi, Bajo and Hex. I have 2 questions. 1, can you make a boat in Minecraft that actually goes? 2, how do you make it go? Love your show. Well, William, you can't make a powered boat that can move on its own like a powered minecart, but you can make boats move.
Yes, just make a standard boat, jump in and press W, or move your left stick forward, and away you go.
Well, that was straightforward enough, but now we have another Minecraft question from another William, who is in Toowoomba in South Australia.
Toowoomba's in Queensland. I know that because I grew up there and it's known for its Carnival of Flowers. You know, some Williams, right, they like to be known as Bill.
Yes, I am aware of that.
Yeah, why is that? It would be like if I called myself Wajo.
Actually, I know this. It's because apparently in the Middle Ages, people like to swap out the first letter of everyone's names and then make nicknames that rhymed. So it was like, oh, your name is Will. I'm just gonna call you Bill.
Right, but why?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they just didn't have anything to do, I suppose. They didn't have video games back then.
Oh, that would have been terrifying. That sounds very lame.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna read the question.
What does seed mean in Minecraft? Well, Billiam, as you no doubt know, Minecraft generates its worlds randomly, but when it does generate the world, it uses what's called a seed.
By default, seeds are just long, random numbers, but they basically tell the game how to generate the world. So anytime you use that seed, the world would generate the same way.
So, for example, you can create a world using the seed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we can create a world using the same seed, and that will create the same world for you as it does for us.
You don't have to use just numbers though. You can actually use words if you want. So you could write in good game spawn point and you'd get this world. Or you could use your own name and write William and this is what you'd get.
What happens if you use Herobrine, Hex?
Oh, let's try. I'm scared, Bajo.
Okay. Hex, I heard if you say Herobrine 3 times in a row while staring at an Enderman, he deletes your save file. No!
All right, well, let's see. Oh, this seems like a fairly innocent world.
Yeah.
It's just a tree. It's just a tree, Bajo. It's just a tree.
I knew that.
Okay, calm down.
Hey, let's try Darren as a noob.
Yeah, okay. Oh, actually, that spawns us right next to a village, Bajo. That's actually a really useful seed.
Yeah, that's amazing. You should go there, Spawnlings. Use the seed Darren is a noob if you want to spawn next to a village. Oh, it's the phone. It is Bajo here on the phone with Hex at the spawn point desk.
Hi.
Go ahead.
Hello, Bajo. Try Darren is awesome.
Ah, all right. Darren is awesome.
Try that one.
That just spawns us in a desert.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not even any trees around.
Yeah, that's pretty much the worst seed I have ever seen, Darren.
Try Darren is great.
Darren, we're not just going to sit here all day and type in seeds. You're just going to have to accept that Darren is a noob is a great seed and everyone's going to use it.
Yeah, it's accurate.
Slander! I'll have to send Notch a rather strongly worded email about this.
Notch doesn't even work on the game anymore,
Yeah,
Darren.
it doesn't even work on the game.
Irrelevant. He created the game and now he will suffer the wrath of my angry emails. Dear Mr. So-called Notch, it has come to my attention that a certain seed...
Well, let's move on to this one then from Lucy, who is in Sydney, New South Wales. Hey, Hex and Bajo, I wanted to ask if there is any games including Adventure Time, because I think there should be. Thank you so much, bye. P.S. Hey, do these.
Well, Lucy, there are loads of Adventure Time games. If you have a phone or tablet, then just check your app store and you'll find heaps. And if you have a PC, then there's plenty of browser games too.
Most aren't that great though, but there are a lot that are free, so there's no harm in checking them out. Out of the ones that actually cost money though, I'd say we liked Card Wars the best.
Yeah, absolutely. There's one I just recently checked out called Adventure Time Game Wizard Draw Your Own Adventure Time Games, which seems pretty cool. You can actually draw your own video game levels in real life, then scan them into the game and play through them.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool idea, especially for aspiring game designers out there. Other than that, though, there have been some fully fledged proper games for consoles and PC, but sadly these haven't been that great.
Yeah. There has been a new game announced, though, that looks pretty promising. It's called Adventure Time Finn and Jake Investigations. It's a 3D adventure game with puzzles and action and all that good stuff, and it's got a great, almost claymation art style to it that looks really cool.
Hopefully it's as good as it looks. It's due out in October on pretty much every console, and hopefully we'll get the chance to review it. But anyway, let's move on now to this one from Queen of Legos in Legoland, Victoria.
I, the Queen of Legos, have to say something to Darren. At the LEGO Dimensions trailer, in the part where the man puts wild style on a LEGO spaceship, the robot walker-like model looks more like a micromanager from the LEGO movie and not a walker from Star Wars. However, the spaceship that the man puts wild style on does look like a ship from Star Wars. I'm just letting you know for next time, you really are a noob? Ah!
Whoa!
Darren was wrong.
Darren was wrong!
Wrong town.
Oh, get him back in the phone.
Okay. I'm so excited. I can't hold on to the phone. I just love it when Darren's wrong.
Okay, just dial it, yeah.
Yo, Darren, it's Spawning here says you were wrong.
Yeah, Spawning said you were wrong.
1 second. I'm still writing. This is totally unacceptable, Notch. Be warned, you will be hearing from my solicitor shortly. Love, Darren. Oh, P.S. I'm a big fan. Please send me an 8x10 autographed picture of yourself. And send. So what were you saying, Bajo?
Right, well, Spawning here says that you were wrong the other week when you said there was an ATST in that LEGO trailer.
Oh, well, let's see. Pull up the picture. Okay, well, they look like ATST feet. Let's take a closer look. Enhance the picture, Kerry. Now rotate 10 degrees. Enhance. Increase brightness. Enhance. Well, it appears my sensors were faulty. That does indeed appear to be a micromanager. Well spotted, Queen of Legos.
Wow, Darren, did you just admit that you were wrong? You have never admitted that you were wrong before.
Well, I've never been wrong before, Hex. And technically, I wasn't wrong this time either. It was my sensors that were faulty.
Darren, I think you find you were wrong. You were proven to be wrong, and now you must drink from the noob cup.
Yes, the noob cup!
Oh, negative!
Yeah.
Negative, don't do it!
Drink from the noob cup.
No! Oh, it's disgusting!
Oh, all right. That was not good. I think we're out of time for this week, but if you've got a question for us, then feel free to send it here. Oh my gosh.
Oh, once he gets on a spew roll, you just...
There are just so many things that make him vomit.
Yeah, so sensitive.
Oh, Darren, have you been baking again? That smells delicious.
Affirmative. It's time to review I Am Bread, which is a simulation of sliced bread. So scientifically speaking, we can't judge how accurate a simulation it is without a real loaf to compare it against.
Good call, Darren. Let's have some.
Yes, please.
Negative. This bread is for scientific purposes only. No eating. Roll the bread, Kerry.
The game's main idea couldn't be simpler. All you need to do is walk your slice of bread across the room to the toaster. But the real challenge comes from the wonky control system, which links a different button to each corner of the slice.
You also need to factor in the inherent floppiness of bread slices. This bendiness makes it harder to flip your slice of bread over. Bajo, could you jiggle a slice so we can judge the real-world physics?
Certainly, Darren. Oh, yeah, it's a pretty good amount of bendiness. Okay, I'm going to eat this one now.
Negative. We need more data.
Well, don't forget, Darren, that you also need to make sure the bread stays edible in the game.
Affirmative.
Doing things like laying your bread on leftover food scraps or ants quickly reduces your bread's edibility. And landing on the floor is a definite no-no. You know, we really should judge the edibility of the bread that you've baked, Darren.
Negative.
Hey, oh, Darren! Look over there, it's a new SingStar game! Whoa!
Where?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Bajo, no! All that data you're eating. Oh, Hex, not you too. Oh.
Bajo started it. Besides, I really feel it's what the bread would have wanted. Oh, this tastes delicious. Well baked, Darren. Anyway, let's focus less on the science and more on the fun, which is what the game does.
Oh, very well. You have to keep your bread slice off the floor and edible, but that's the yeast of your worries. Oh, the other big challenge is climbing up surfaces before your bread's grip strength runs out. You'll need a quick rhythm to successfully climb things like the kitchen bench.
Yes, I'm sad to admit that I failed my bread climbing a lot early on. Accidentally slipping into the sink or falling on the floor a few too many times.
Me too. Thankfully, after a couple of failed attempts, you get the option to play with unlimited grip strength and edibility.
Obviously, my computerized reflexes didn't need assisted options like this, but I can see that it's a handy feature for exploring.
Well, I think we can all agree that the climbing is tough, especially flipping over the edges. I found the best way was to angle the bread so one corner was touching the edge, then I'd wiggle around until I could flip up. It's hard, but it's also balanced well, so I could always see what I was doing wrong to learn for next time.
You know, I think it's easy for wacky simulation games like this to end up as just a novelty, but there was a surprising amount of depth here to keep me interested. Getting to learn the room's layout, timing those tricky flips, dodging hazards.
Once you've completed the kitchen, you'll encounter some of Bread's worst nightmares. Navigating your way around dangers like the dreaded bathtub, messy bedrooms, and gross garages. Oh, the horror! Oh, all that oil!
I found scaling walls and using high spots like shelving was a good technique. But it was never easy. You really do have to plan out your path to keep that bread nice and tasty. Speaking of tasty bread.
Negative, Bajo.
That reminds me, the game also rates your bread on deliciousness.
Hex.
Which means you need to seek out jars of jam and roll around in them.
I found even spreading the jam was tricky. I'd often have to grab bits of the broken jam jars and fling them away before I could get to the jam to get a good coverage.
Ah, yes, the life of a bread slice is not an easy one. Oh, and we haven't even talked about the hardest part yet, the toasting.
Oh, wait, Darren, I don't think we should give much away about how the toasting actually works. Figuring out how to actually toast yourself in the later rooms is one of my favourite parts of the game, so I don't think we should spoil that.
Good point, Hex. Obviously, there's a traditional toaster in the kitchen level, but that's all we're going to say about that.
Well, there is one thing we can talk about, the bonus modes.
Oh yeah, they were great. There's one where you're a fragile piece of crisp bread tracking down hidden pieces of cheese, which is even harder than the normal mode because crisp bread cracks so easily.
The zero gravity mode is the one I had the most fun with. The bread has all these little rockets strapped to it, and you use them to pilot around the rooms. And there are loads of others too, like racing and destruction modes. So much gameplay, but we should wrap this up, Hex.
Well, I think this is such a clever little game. I mean, the basic concept is super simple, but then they've baked in a lot of extra ingredients to make it much richer. So I'm giving it 4 stars.
You could say this game is the best thing since sliced bread. I'm giving it 4 stars as well.
You both did a great job on the review, and that deserves a reward. You may each take 1 slice from the control loaf.
Thanks, Darren. I'm gonna eat the crusts off because the crusts are my favourite.
I said 1 slice. Oh, Bajo, no! Oh, the bread! Oh, that's too much! Oh, Bajo! Oh, think of your equatorial Bajo! Oh.
Well, we are almost out of time, so quick, Darren, reveal your trivia secrets.
Affirmative. At the start of the show, I asked you this. In LEGO Marvel Superheroes, the SHIELD helicarrier is hovering over which American city? And the answer is New York City.
New York, home of Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, and so many other great characters.
New York, popularly known as the Big Apple, was also the inspiration for Superman's Metropolis and Batman's Gotham City.
We need more Australian superheroes, I think. Next week on the show, we're heading back into space.
For reals this time?
For reals this time, Bajo. For reals.
So excited. Can we bring our cats?
Negative. Besides, it's been done. The first cat was put in space by France in 1963.
Yeah, I think our cats prefer the indoors anyway.
Good point, Bajo. Well, until next time, may all your games be good ones. Hex out.
Bajo out.
Darren out.